So hi guys, this is gonna be the PvP build I used in the fight before. I'm sure you probably seen it in action, and if you didn't, I recommend that you do before you see this build at all, because this build was tailored. I made it myself without checking any guide or anything, so it is an extension of my playstyle in this game. So to start it off, here are the traits. I put 5 points in arms, 5 points in defense, and 4 points in discipline. Out of all of them, you probably noticed that I don't have any of the major trait slots, grandmaster trait slots unlocked because of the points distribution I have. That's because none of the ones from the warrior line, none of the grandmaster traits really interested me that much. Some of them I found completely useless compared to the other classes. But what's really nice about this distribution is you get some very good minor traits, such as the precise strikes from arms, which gives you a 30% chance of critical hit to cause a bleeding, and that's very useful because the grandmaster minor trait which I have is attack of opportunity, which increases damage to bleeding foes by 10%, which is a very nice to have. From the defense line, some of the nicer ones you get is adrenal health, which gives you an healing signet like effect, healing signet regeneration like the healing signet. It's dependent on the level of adrenaline you have. At level 3 adrenaline, it gives you roughly the same amount as the healing signet would give, maybe a bit more. And armored attack, which as you notice I have no points in strength, so I lack offensive power. So armored attack kinda makes it a bit nullified, because now 10% of my power would be converted to 10% of toughness would be converted in power.
Go ahead.
In discipline, I have versatile. In discipline, you get the minor trait versatile rage, which gives you 5 adrenaline on weapon swap, and fast hands, which reduces the weapon recharge time to 5 seconds from the base of 10 seconds. So the recharge time is a lot shorter, so you can quickly switch between swords and greatsword depending on the situation in a fight. What I took as my adept trait, major trait for me, is deep strike, because as if you've seen the previous fight, or as you can see now, my build uses the signet of rage, Doliac signet, signet of stamina, and the healing signet as utility skills. So that's four signets already, and since I get plus 40 precision for each of them, that's total 160, which is nice to have. For the master major trait, I took forceful greatsword, because as you've seen that this build does not have any points put in power directly. It's nice to have might, which gives you a decent amount of power, and this thing can stack up really quickly if you have a high enough crit chance, which I'm going to show you how to get it. For defense, the first one I took was Dog and March. You could just as well take missile deflection or curl the weak. It really doesn't matter. I took Dog and March because I usually go up against ranged classes, and they usually try to immobilize me, so I won't be able to get near them. What this helps me in is that instead of actually damaging me, they might end up healing me in some cases. Cleansing Ire was what I took as the major trait, because it gives me an adrenaline for each time I'm hit, and removes the condition for each bar of adrenaline I spent on a burst skill. This is nice to have because nowadays in PvP you see most people running around in condition builds. So if you can just clean a condition while you're attacking the enemy with a huge bleed effect from flurry, it's a win-win situation. For discipline, I took Signet Mastery because it reduces the Signet recharge time by 20%, and as you can see, that will help with Signet of Rage and the Doliac Signet, because their base cooldown time of 60 seconds is quite long compared to the other skills. I put in Mobile Strikes as a major trait, but you could just as well take Sweet Revenge if you need to. I took Mobile Strikes because I hate being immobilized in a battle, and by allowing myself mobile strike. I can use Savage Leap, Whirlwind Attack, or Rush to break from any immobilize instead of popping my Signet of Stamina to break away from it. So that's always nice to have. In equipment, I took the Knight's Amulet, which was available after the April's feature pack update. So Knight's Amulet gives me plus 640 power, which I already needed because I didn't put any points from traits in it, and 640 precision, which is nice, which brings down my base precision to 62% with the dual swords, and also plus 900 toughness, which brings up the total toughness I have to around 2.2k depending on the situation, and gives me my total armor anywhere between 3300 and 3500. So that's really nice to have. And I'm using the rune of strength because out of all the runes, first of all because I needed to add in some extra power to allow myself offensive powers, and also because of its ability to increase the duration of might, allow you to gain might when struck, and most importantly, whenever you're under the effects of might, your damage from any attack increases by 7%. And that might not sound like much, but in a fight it's really a lot. I'm using, as you already saw, that I'm using dual swords and a Greatsword. So for the dual swords, I use the Sigil of Strength, which has a 60% chance in critical to let you gain might, which will last for 10 seconds. And the Sigil of Accuracy, which has a 7% critical chance increase, and that's always active. So overall, I have a base percentage of 63% to have a critical hit with my swords, and if I activate the Signet of Rage, which I usually will in a fight, it increases it up to 81%, which means that every 4 and 5 hit will be a critical hit. So that allows me around a 50-50 chance. It's about a 40% chance for each hit to end you giving might. And for the Greatsword, that critical chance is reduced to 74%, which still 3 in 4 hits should be a critical. And with the trait Forceful Greatsword, that means that on every critical hit I'll gain a stack of might. For the Greatswords, I'm using the Sigil of Hydromancy, which will activate whenever I stop the weapon in combat, which will chill nearby foes and also does quite a bit of damage on it. I'm still not sure of how much damage it does because a reading never shows up, but if you check the fights I had, it still does quite a lot. And the second one I have is Sigil of Fire. This activates a Flame Burst it has 50% chance of activating a Flame Blast AoE on a critical hit. I use this one out of all the on-crit attacks because this is the only AoE that does decent damage. And with a Greatsword, usually you'll be fighting. This build is usually made to fight a 1v1 roam or to work as a team, but it should still be able to hold its own in a 2 versus 1 situation long enough for backup to show up. And that's about all. That's about what I use. You might have noticed that I have a lot of conditioned attacks. All of my attacks apply condition on an enemy, though my condition damage is only 250. This is because the main way you're damaging your enemy is by building up might, and then gradually your normal attack power, your pure attack power increases. While at the same time, because you have so many condition stacks from your enemy, though your condition damage is really low, it still adds up to quite a lot of damage. Usually your enemy might pop a condition cleanse, don't worry about it, you just keep on attacking but every time he pops a condition cleanse, he ends up wasting time he could have used to attack you. You might have noticed that the vitality in this character is quite low, so the overall health is only 18,000. Don't worry, this is way more than enough considering the health regen you get from the healing signet and the one you'll get from adrenal health, and your basic toughness will make sure that you don't suffer too much damage at all. So this is the build I use. I would appreciate it if you check the video of it in action in a I have the second video in the description. It shows the build in action, and you can see whether it's your type of playstyle or not. The main reason I made this build, made this dual sword and greatsword build, is that I haven't seen any like this so far, and I didn't see any build like this, and this build is my playstyle. If your playstyle is similar, I recommend that you try this build out and see if you enjoy playing as this warrior character. Goodbye.